And hello, welcome back to episode 247 of the Well Done Life podcast. I'm your host, Pamela Davis Brown. If you are new here, hey, how are you? Welcome. I am so glad that you're here this week. I hope that you will stay for a very long time and bring friends. If you've been here before, you guys know the deal. I love you deep. Thank you so much for continuing to rock with me. I wouldn't be able to do this without you, and I'm just so grateful to have you guys on the journey. So, before we get started with this week's episode, it's really important for me to be really foundational. I always like to set the tone because we're building a safe space. And in that safe space, I really want to treat it like a house. And so, with that, that means that I want to make sure that our foundation is really strong. And so, for me, it's very important that this house, this safe space that we are creating, is built on two very important things, and that is clarity and love. Clarity is really straightforward. I just want to make sure that you understand that I created the Well Done Life brand because I believe in the power of women. I believe in the power of us sharing our stories, the good, the bad, the ugly, so that we can learn and inspire each other. For me, it's very important to share my journey because I made a promise to God a very long time ago that if He helped me get through when I was at my lowest, when I was on my face, that I would always be transparent about the highs and lows of everything that I've experienced because I want women to understand that you don't have to walk the same path that I've walked. You don't have to make the mistakes that I've made. You can do it your way and still create a beautiful life. And you can hopefully learn from me and I can learn from you. And that's what we do here. So, like I said, I share my journey, but I also like to spotlight other women in the community who have shared their journey and are really doing impactful things. This is a space that's truly rooted in love. And that just happens to be my second foundational thing, love. Everything we do in this space is going to be rooted in love. And with that, it's really important to me that before we start talking about a whole bunch of new stuff, we always have to start our conversations off with me sharing prayers with you. It's funny, I've been rooted in a few foundational prayers because, the world is nuts. And so I just feel like we need to have a few key foundational things always talked about, always at the center of prayer in order for us to move forward in a positive space. So we're going to do that right now, okay? Let's go. So, my first prayer for you is going to be peace. I pray that you are able to find peace. The world is going to keep doing what it does. There is always going to be something that is vying for your attention or someone. And there has to be moments where, for yourself, excuse me while I shut off my phone, that you are creating space where you are at peace. And I mean space where you can actually sit still, where you can regulate your body, where you can have thought and just really come together based upon what you're feeling, like really start to regulate yourself because it's super important, not just from a clarity perspective, which is we're going to talk about because that is my second prayer for you, but from a physical standpoint, it is so important because life is going to keep coming and things are going to be needed and you are going to be required to expend energy. And when you have moments where you can actually sit in stillness and give your body the regulation it needs, it is better for you from a physical standpoint. It's so important because when we're stressed out, all we're doing is raising our blood pressure. We're raising cortisol levels in our body. We're doing so much damage to ourselves. And it's just the natural cycle of life. But we have to also counterbalance that with moments of peace. So I pray that you're able to have a pocket of peace where you can sit and breathe, where you can hear your breath, where you can just count to 100 if you need to, or even as simple as counting to 10. Because even in those slight, small moments of regulation, you're doing great things. Because, like I said, my second foundational prayer is clarity. In those moments where you're able to get peace, is where you're able to have clarity. And clarity is essential in these times. I mean, there really is not a lot to say about it except for the fact that you have to be able to see things as they are, no matter the circumstances, because it's very easy to make poor decisions based upon emotion and stress versus being able to step outside of yourself for a moment and to be able to see things from a factual standpoint and then give yourself the clarity to be able to think about how this next move is going to impact you. And that doesn't always happen in every situation. So let me not act like I got clarity in every moment of the day. I don't. There are many times, sometimes where I make decisions out of emotion, but a lot of times I actually will stop myself and breathe and pause and think in order for me to move forward. And not every decision is an instantaneous thing. And there is space for you to hold back from giving decisions. There's space for you to tell people, you know what, I'm not ready to make a decision about this just yet. I need some time. And it may not align with what someone else wants you to do, but it aligns with what you need. And you have to prioritize, what you need versus other people's expectations of yourself, because that's the only way that you're going to be able to exist, to be able to thrive in the ways that you need to in times like this, especially when there's just, like I said, so much chaos. The world is the world. There's a lot we could talk about with that, but it is, there's too much going on, and for you not to allow yourself to have peace so that you can have clarity and make decisions, the best decision possible based upon where you are at that particular moment. So those are my first two prayers for you: peace and clarity. My third prayer for you is love. Yes, I want you to have love. I'm standing on love. Love is one of my favorite things. Love is a thing. And it is so important that you have good reciprocal love. And when I say reciprocal love, I'm not just speaking from a relational standpoint. Obviously, I want you to be in relationship with your partner where that you guys are pouring into each other the yin and the yang of things. It's essential. But I also want you to have that in regards to your friendships, in regards to your community. No one is going to come and save us. We are going to save ourselves. And so it is essential that the community that you surround yourself with, the people that ride for you, your clique, your posse, your crew, your peeps, whatever you choose to call them, that you guys have a reciprocal bond, that you are pouring into them just like they're pouring into you. Because that's the group that, like I said, that's going to come and save you. Those are the ones that you can go through when you need someone to lean on, when you need encouragement, when you need support, heck, when you need ideas and strategy. Those are the people that you will lean into. I'm very fortunate. I think about that now that I'm just saying it, thinking about my friends, my clique, my crew, my peeps, my ladies, the loves of my life. We talk about so many different things. It's not just makeup and weight loss, it's strategy, it's business, it's encouragement, it's financial matters. Like, we discuss so many things because remember the adage, iron sharpens iron. And so you want to make sure that your community is tight, because we need to pour into each other. We need to encourage each other. We are the ones who will save ourselves as we navigate this thing called life. So it is very important that you have that. And so I want you surrounded in good reciprocal love at all times. So that will always be a prayer for me. And then rounding out my prayers this week, I'm always going to stand on abundance. Of course, I want you to be financially abundant because you can be a blessing to yourself and to other people. But I also want you to carve out moments where you're creating abundance in your spirit, where you are creating moments and memories that will last a lifetime, that will last far more than dollars and cents ever will. It is essential. We were not created just to work and to die. We were created to live and to thrive. And if there's something in your spirit, in your heart, in your soul that you have been desiring to do, there is no better time than to do it than now. Because that moment of you pouring into yourself is creating abundance. When you take care of you, when you let your passion shine, when you let your magic come through, you are creating that abundance in your spirit that's going to sustain you. It's going to sustain you when times get tough. It's going to remind you of who you are and what you deserve. And you need those reminders. Again, the world is going to keep being the world, but don't let that stop you from being the best version of you. And so those are my prayers for you this week. I hope that you will receive them well. I am recording on Saturday, February the 20th at 2:57 p.m. And I'm so excited to be here with you guys. I missed y'all last week. I took a little pause for the cause, but I want to thank you guys for always being supportive. I saw people were still listening to previous episodes. I love that. It makes me so happy. I hope that you will discover us. And yes, this, for those of you that are just listening, you can continue to just listen. But for those of you that are looking for a little visualization, a little view, I am recording visuals and uploading them on YouTube now. God help us all. I'm still trying to navigate this thing, but I'm committed to it. And that's how I'm going to leave it. I'm going to continue, hopefully, to grow and advance. I hope every time you watch me, it gets better and better for you. I really do. So definitely, if you have constructive feedback, feel free to drop it. If it's negative, you can just go ahead and button that up and keep it, not believing that there's negativity out there. I am truly standing in la la that everyone is excited about this opportunity for growth and expansion because we all deserve to grow and expand. And for myself, I'm still a student of the game and trying to learn. But enough of that. That just, of course, I always had to give a PSA. I think it's just because I skipped a week and I'm still trying to like get back up, but I'm here. And I have a new conversation that I want to have with you guys. It's funny because this conversation is really rooted out of really rooted out of, I'll be honest, just sheer off the cuff answers. Like, I really wasn't even thinking about it. But essentially, what happened is, as you guys know, I've been on a body recomposition journey. I've been really working very hard on my health. And so I don't know if many of you have heard the interview, but I did an interview with my obesity medicine doctor, Dr. Jodine Hill, last year. And you know what? I think what I'll do is I'll drop a link back to her. But essentially, I have been on a GLP-1 journey. And not just that, like I said, it's not a journey as well as a body recomposition, overall total health journey. And I have a health team, and Dr. Hill is a part of my health team. Yes, I have a health team. I'm not going to lie. When you get to a certain phase of life, you need to get you a health team. I am advocating for it. Stretch those insurance dollars as far as you can and get you a health team. It takes more than one doctor to keep you together, especially over the age of 50 and thriving. So that's what we're doing here. But Dr. Hill and I, like I said, we've been working together over a year. I have been working toward losing weight, being under 200 pounds. And I've been kind of like floating around my goal. My goal weight that I'm trying to hit is 189 pounds. I am 6 pounds away from it right now, currently. I haven't weighed in now. I'm more getting toward maintenance phase because I've kind of shifted how I have been approaching my journey. Because again, I'm thinking of this from a long-term standpoint because I am never going back to being overweight. I think at my heaviest weight, just to kind of give context, I was about 286 pounds. So that's definitely quite a journey. And it has taken me a very long time. But I've had to recognize as a part of that journey, that success has looked like many different ways for me. And I know as soon as people hear the GLP-1, they're thinking, oh, well, that's how she did it. She did that way. No, I'll be honest, the GLP-1 was a compliment, but it wasn't the solution. It wasn't the full solution. And the reason I'm saying that is because I recently went to weigh in and I've been doing, like I said, really well. I'm very close to hitting this number. And I've also been really working on improving my muscle mass. I'm very fortunate. I don't have loose skin or any of that. I look tight. I look like I'm thicker than a Snicker around this thing, but I had to work my behind off to get it. And that's a whole nother conversation and we can dive into it because there's no gatekeeping here. And so she asked me because, like I said, I've been going to her for over a year and she has seen me progress. And she was showing me one of my before and after photos. And she was like, you've probably lost even more weight since this after photo that I have of you. And if I were to do a testimonial right now, she asked me, what do you feel was the key to you being successful? And soon as she said it, I knew right away what it was. What it was is that she called me on my bullshit. Yep. She called me on my bullshit. And the reason I'm putting it that bluntly is because that's really what it was. She called me on my bullshit and I finally listened. Yeah. Now and we're going to unpack that because I really want to ask you guys, how many of y'all are in a situation or a different aspect of your life? Because, obviously not everybody's on a body recomposition journey, but you're on a journey of some sort and you have gotten to a place where you recognize, you know what? The reason that I've finally been able to do this thing that I've been trying to do is because this tool, whatever that you're using, this guide has finally called you on your bullshit and you have finally decided, you know what? I have to stop trying to do it my way. Got to stop trying to do it my way and I'm ready to listen. And she was flat. Her gabbers were Well, when I told her that way, she was like, "I can't put that up as a testimonial." And I said, "I don't know why not, because it's really the truth. I finally decided to stop and let you call me on my bullshit, and I finally decided to listen to what you've been telling me." Because like I said, I've been working with her for over a year, and over in the course of this year, my weight has gone up and down. I have been listening to her, but at the same time, I had that little side of me that was still trying to do it my way. And when I talk about trying to do it my way, it's like, you know what, I'll just have an extra protein only day this week and just make up because I ate something during the weekend that I knew I shouldn't have been. And I remember when I first used to start with her, and I had started like shifting my eating habits and everything like that. Like I would come in sometimes like, look, I'm having a steak and cheese today. I figured out a way where I can make it low carb, where I can do all the things, and I'm having it. And I don't care what you say. And she would be like, okay, you can have it. And I would just fight it. And I know that sounds really childish, but it's really true because it was just that side of me that wanted control. And so again, as we're talking through this about people getting called on your bullshit, let's really all put it in place, put it into where it needs to be. The reason that a lot of us are not moving forward on our weight journeys, life journeys, whatever we're trying to focus on, is because we haven't gotten that ego in check yet. We haven't let that ego die. Like we talk about the fact that we've had an ego death, but has the ego really, really died? Or have we, given it a resuscitation, a little extra life because we got a little scared? We got a little unsure. We got a little afraid that if we don't have a little bit of control, if we don't still do it our way, like it's really not going to work, and we haven't surrendered. And so that's where we are now. And that's where I wanted to talk to you guys about being called on your bullshit. Because when you get called on your bullshit, I mean, let's start from the top. Um, it's like your flabbers are gathered, you're flabbergasted, you're upset, you're concerned, you're like, I'm listening to you. You get defensive. The natural defense mechanisms that come up, it's the ego. It's the ego. And for myself, even though I was listening to what she was telling me to do, and I was doing it to some extent, I still wanted to have some control. Like I said, I wanted a Philly cheesesteak, even though I had to finagle how to get it done. I still was determined to have it. I would remember at one point, I was so resistant for protein shakes. Like she was trying to tell me the benefits of eating whole food versus supplementing protein shakes. And I was like, girl, I got to have this protein matcha. That protein matcha is the key to everything. I was like, I figured out how to do it. I literally would explain her to death, over explain. I'm like, I'm over explaining when now looking back on it, an obesity medicine board certified specialist about why I need to have this protein shake, because this protein shake is going to be the key in order for me to get where I need to go. It wasn't about the food, but it was about the protein shake. It was like, I heard what you were saying, but in my mind, I knew better than you. Doesn't that sound effing crazy? I mean, really, doesn't it? And just think about how that moment with me, flip that and think about a situation in your life where you have been trying to accomplish a goal and work hard toward it, but you just can't let it go. You just can't admit that this person is right and that another way may be the better path to go. Like let's just be honest. Let's talk about the fact that how hard it is for many of us, myself included, that I had to learn how to really let someone coach you. And don't get me wrong, I am paying for this. Like I love Dr. Hill. I am paying for this out of pocket. This is not being covered through insurance. And I am paying you a pretty penny to argue against your expertise because my ego thinks that they can do it better. Thinks that even though I'm holding on to this little part in the grand scheme of it all is not going to delay me from what I need to be, because I know better. I know better. And you have to ask yourself, where in your life are you doing that? Where are you in your life not letting someone coach you? Letting someone tell you a different path. in order for you to get to the outcome that you're looking for. And being able to finally sit in that moment and be able to tell her that, yes, I finally listened. I finally learned that I had to let go of control. I finally learned I had to stop trying to do it my way and actually listen to what you were telling me and execute it. And even I took it a step further. I know that this is probably controversial, but like I said, we don't do gatekeeping here. Like I said, I have a health team. So I have her, I have a menopause specialist that I go to for hormone replacement therapy. And I go to acupuncture because, previously in my middle, I don't know if middle, I mean, in my 40s, I started like working out really heavy distance, doing distance training, running, all those things. And I did a lot of damage to myself. And I did a lot of damage to myself physically because when I did those things, I was 286 pounds. Not saying, and so for all of the ladies who are full figured, never let anyone tell you that you can't go out here and run. Because yes, I ran a marathon in the high 200s, but at the same time, my body, the pounding and the activity, it really took a toll on me physically. And after I recovered from my knee reconstruction, I really found myself in a place where I was done with running on the pavement because it's not the same now for me physically with my knee. And then the interest wasn't there. The fear of being able to get back out there, and I'll be honest, have another catastrophic injury. I was just like, nah, not after 40. I can't do it again because it took so much out of me the first time. And if I think about that, being so honest, that is part of the pain points that keep me locked in. And I think for you, if there are areas in your life, again, where you're struggling, where you need somebody to call you on your bullshit and you haven't, what's the pain point? What's the trigger point behind why you're acting the way that you're acting? Because like I said, for me, I'm not gonna lie, when I had my knee reconstructed, that was the longest year of my life. It was so hard between the extended physical therapy and mentally losing the control over my body, being able to go and do the way that I wanted to do. It really set me back. And so after that, I shifted how I prioritized fitness. And it really showed in my health. And that's where, like I said, I ballooned back up. I was like, I'm not willing to physically exert myself anymore to a point where I could be hurt again. And so you have to figure out, as you are really checking the ego, as you are really trying to learn how to be coachable, you have to start to recognize what those previous pain points were and how you may need to call them out and really give yourself space to heal from them so that you can be coachable, so that you can try a different path. Or it's possible that you're always going to have this side of yourself, this side in your mind where you're trying to hold on to just a piece to do it your way because you feel like you need that level of control. You don't need that level of control. In the ability to surrender, in the ability to be coachable, there is growth. There is an opportunity for you to achieve your goals even though it may not look the way that you thought it was going to look. It's still the opportunity is there. And we have to give ourselves the space to acknowledge that opportunity. And like I said, I know for myself, that was so hard for me. It was so hard because I just, like I said, I kept always having that little bit of me thinking, oh, well, if I hold back this, if I have this, I'm not doing any damage. But really, it wasn't about the damage. It was about the fact that I couldn't let go of control. And the moment that I let go of control, the moment that I stopped recognizing that I can do it my way, great things happen. And so essentially for me, I wound up in a situation where been working out really hard and doing all these things. I was going hard in the paint, like Tabata, hit rides. I have a Peloton. Y'all know I love my Peloton and stuff. And I wasn't going into the gym. I was working out at home. I had a couple weights at home and I've been able to make it happen. But I wasn't able to hit the level of goals that I wanted to hit. And I wound up aggravating my Achilles and my plantar fascia, which and I had plantar fasciitis previously, and I've also had what is it? Sciatica. Can't believe I forgot what it was. Sciatica pain for a long time because my body had a lot of inflammation and from stress and all those type and bad eating. And so I aggravated my Achilles. And anybody over 50, anybody over 40, child, do not, like, you don't want to, you remember, body is not the same. Women, we're in perimenopause. These bodies are not the same. Like, they're not. They are susceptible, especially, I'll be honest, without hormone replacement therapy. And that's a whole nother conversation that I think I'm going to try to have as I start to map out the series I'm working through, but I digress. And so I wound up having to change my approach. And I went to Chat GPT to change my approach. And I know that's controversial. I know a lot of people feel a way about Chat GPT, but I pay for Chat GPT, and me and my Chat GPT get along. We are tight. That is my assistant. That is my dude. That is my rock. And my Chat GPT is my trainer. And so, yes, I use that as a trainer, and I feed in all the information from my health team, and we organize a plan. And I know, like I said, again, that's controversial. I'm not trying to say that everybody has to do it, but for me, it's in total alignment. And everybody knows that I'm using Chat GPT. I don't try to go up in here and hide, because again, I'm like, if I had to surrender, because like I said, I had this injury and I can't afford to break out my Achilles, because I already know how I acted after having knee surgery. I'm like, child, I am not trying to mess up my Achilles. No, 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 no. I got to try something different. And in that moment, I recognize that my ego has to go out of the way. I got to try something different, because old Pam would have tried to get her butt back up on that Peloton and just ride a little slower. And because I'm like, I need to work out. I can't stop losing weight because of it. Because I have goals I want to achieve. And so the trainer, my Chat GPT, works out plans with me that push me back in the gym, where I'm starting to lift weights on a more consistent, heavier basis, and take away any potential issues with my Achilles. And then at the same time, I also talk to it about my plans for body recompositioning and what I'm trying to accomplish. And so I know my protein goals, my macros, we got everything going on. Like, we're talking, it's like creating the synergy. And in this synergy, believe it or not, it's calling me out on my bullshit. Because with Chat GPT, my Chat GPT is programmed to tell me, I have it set up, don't tell me everything I want to know. Tell me what I need to hear. Tell me the truth. And we talk truthfully. And if I'm going off the rails, Chat GPT tells me. If I'm making a decision that's going to be counterintuitive to what I'm doing, it tells me. And I make better decisions that way. I learned I had to put my ego in check, because I finally have things calling me out on my bullshit. And so I'm saying all this to say that I think there gets a point ultimately where you recognize that it's time to apply advice that you've been given. It's time to use the resources that are presented to you. And it's time to take accountability about why you don't do it and why you don't. Like I said, it's a lot of time, it's our ego, it's our need for control, it's previous pain points that we haven't addressed within ourselves that are holding us back. And I'm saying all of this because I want you to stop letting stuff hold you back. I do. I want you to stop letting stuff hold you back. These things that we've gone through, like, I had knee surgery, if I think about it, back in 2017. And so it's 2026. It's like, how long am I going to hold on to it? And yes, I've recovered, but do I feel it sometimes? Absolutely. Does my knee act 100% like it used to be? No, it doesn't. Like, I never was going to be the same after I had that surgery, but I can be better. So what I'm saying to you is, whatever you are trying to accomplish, if there's an opportunity where you can surrender and really get it done and put yourself past the pain, put yourself past the disappointment, put yourself past the frustration that you experienced previously, this time can be better. And you have to be open to that, experiencing that. And I decided I was open to that I was worth it. And I know that a lot of this conversation is grounded around health, but for me, my health journey is one of the biggest journeys, looking at it, that I've ever undertaken. It is the most important too, because this is the journey that is allowing me to be me. And so you have to ask yourself, what this journey, what this goal is that you're trying to accomplish, what does it mean for you? And you really have to ask yourself, is it worth losing by not taking accountability on the fact that you need help? Is it worth not coming to pass by you being so resistant to doing something a totally different way? I never would have thought that I would be here over a year in, still trying to lose weight, working through Chat GPT, 2, 3 doctors, and becoming this gym rat all over. I never would have thought that this would be how I would lose weight. I literally was one of those people who thought, well, let me get this GLP-1. I'm going to eat this little bit of food. We're going to lose the weight. Boom, it's going to be set. That is a way to go about it, but that's a short-term way to something that should be a long-term goal. Because I'm gonna get on my soapbox for just a hot moment. A lot of people, like I said, look at these GLP-1s, these weight loss medications as an easy fix. I'm gonna tell you straight up, it is not an easy fix. I work out 5 to 6 times a day. Times a week, excuse me. That'd be insane if I was working out that many times a day. 5 to 6 times a week. I lift weights 4 times a week. And I don't lift 5, 10, 15-pound weights. I lift weights. You know what I mean? And I prioritize eating in a healthy capacity. I'm talking high protein, moderate carbohydrates. Like, we are not going carb deficient over here, baby. No, ma'am. No, I got to eat. I eat fat. Yes, I eat. I'm retraining my mind against all of the negative food talk that is out here, because there is so much negative food talk. Everybody feels like you got to do this and do that. I'm trying to train my mind against it. I'm trying to learn how to eat to live, not live to eat, and do it in the right form. So believe me when I say it's not easy. And I always like to say that because, like I said, I see a lot of people talk about, how they're losing weight, which is wonderful. And they're doing it the natural way. Let me tell you something. Those GLP-1s are the natural way. They have been out for over 20 years. People need to stop playing, and people need to stop allowing the opinions of other people to stop them from pursuing these drugs if it is something that can change your life. For me, it's life-changing. My mother is 78 years old, blind, with diabetes and stage 4 kidney disease. Diabetes runs so strong in my family. When my sister and I were young, her doctor told her that if we don't have it, our children would get it. And we have to be tested consistently every year to ensure that we have no opportunity for that to occur. Imagine being told that when you're a teenager. So I know what I face. I have watched pretty much all of my mother's siblings outside of one are gone. Every single one. I've watched diabetes, all those comorbidities run through our family. And my mother's not overweight. And so let me tell you, I've seen that. I want a different life. I want a different life for me and my sister. And so I'm going to model the behavior that is going to create that life. You know what? You need to go out here and model the behavior that is going to create the best life for you, where you can get up and down the steps, where you can see, where you can live, where you can breathe without the assistance of other things. And if it requires you taking medication to do that, do that. And don't let anyone tell you anything different, because your life is your own to live. And so live it. So yes, let me jump back off the soapbox and back into our conversation. Sorry, just quick PSA, because it really bothers me, because don't shame somebody for changing their life for the better. I don't care how they had to do it. That's none of your business. But whatever they're doing to be the best version of themselves, let them. And so going back to this, like I said, it kind of all works in tandem, because this is an act of surrender, being able to be called on our bullshit, to be pliable, to actually learn, to be willing to do something different so that we can get to the levels that we're trying to aspire. It takes a lot. And for me, I'll be honest, it has been like night and day. Like, since I've started this is where I feel like I have created habits that are going to sustain me past the GLP-1. Like, I don't know if I'll have to take this for the rest of my life or not. That really isn't my concern because everyone has to take something. Even though I've lost like over 50, almost 60, 70 pounds of weight over the course of all this, I still have hypertension. So I take a very small dose of high blood pressure medicine every day. And that's just what it's going to have to be because blood pressure still goes up and down. So everything is not just food based, some things are genetic. And like I said, I work out 6 days a week. I don't play around with it. I'm very consistent. And so it is important for me to understand and to show how when I shifted my thoughts, my life changed. Yeah. Like I'm sitting here, I'm eating, I'm creating habits, I'm creating a sustainable life. And I'm very grateful for that opportunity. And so I want you, like I said, to examine where there may be signs within yourself that you have to make change because when you surrender, that's what happens. And don't get me wrong, it's not like it's a perfect shift. It's not. I mean, there are days when I struggle. I struggle all the time. I get tired every day. Like yesterday, I went to the gym at like 6 something in the morning. I didn't want to go. Child, I did not want to go. I was tired. I wanted to lay in the bed. I use so much magnesium spray. I take magnesium pills. I'm taking my progesterone. I'm trying to just keep this body going. And I got a job and a family. Child, I'm exhausted. But my mindset is such that this is my time. Working out is my time. Working out is for me. It is for me, and I'm surrendering in it, and I'm listening to it. And I let Chat GPT call me out on my bullshit. When I be like, okay, I don't want to go, Chat GPT be like, girl, go. You can do it. Just all right, make this excuse, say what you want to say, go. When I want them 5 M&Ms, Chat GPT is like, do you really want 5 M&Ms or did you really just want to say it? I just really wanted to say it. So it's like the surrender. It's recognizing that I can course correct a lot faster now. I can make good decisions because I've recognized that this journey that I'm on is not a glamorous journey. It's not like some easy peasy journey, but I'm willing to put in the work because I'm worth it. And so the same thing goes to you with this situation, with this school, with this goal, with this business, whatever you're trying to accomplish, and you need somebody to call you out on your bullshit about it. You just got to recognize that it's worth it because it's about you. It's about what you need. It's about recognizing that your pride doesn't need to get in the way, that your ego doesn't need to get in the way. It's time for you to move ahead. Remember, as they say biblically, pride goeth before the fall. That it does. You got to let stuff go. You have to understand that there's no shame in surrendering. Surrendering is still moving. Surrendering is going to get you closer to the goal. Surrender is going to help you get there sooner. And the more resistance that you put up, the longer it's going to take you. So it's like, what do you have to surrender? It's time to let go because the moment that I let my ego die, my progress lived. The moment I let my ego die, my progress live. Like I said, I'm close. Now I'm almost there, my goal. And it's not just about that, but it's just, like I said, for me, this is the beginning of a journey. I have so much more that I'm thinking about telling y'all about. But I wanted to share this because it's really real. Like this is real. Like at this point in our lives, it's time for us to recognize that we have mirrors, that we have gifts, that we have systems, that we have tools that call us on our bullshit, and it's time to listen. It's time to listen. It's time to stop letting your ego get in the way. It's time to stop letting your pride get in the way. It's time to stop letting your pain get in the way. It's time for you to decide, I'm ready. I'm ready to live the best version of myself, and I'm going to stop being the catalyst that slows me down because it's not other people. It always was you. It always was you. So as I'm getting ready to wrap up, I jotted down a few things that I want to share with you, our questions that I want you guys to kind of reflect and think about. So the first question is, where are you the bottleneck in your own life? The second one, who have you asked for help but haven't fully trusted? The third one, what would happen if you followed through completely? And the fourth one, what fear are you disguising as independence? I want you to remember that this isn't about beating yourself up. It's not. When I say getting called on your bullshit, it's not. It's really just, it's about growing up. You don't need more information. You need implementation. And if you want different results, you may have to let a version of yourself die in order to get it. Because holding on to who you were, who you think you are, is not serving you. Sometimes being called on your bullshit is the greatest gift that you will ever receive. Sit with that. Think about that. That's the greatest gift that you may ever receive. It could be the start of your new level, your new life, your new season. So that's this week's episode. I hope that you learned something. I hope it inspired you. I hope it gave you something to think about, because I want you to be the best versions of yourself on all levels. You deserve it. You're amazing. And don't let anyone tell you anything different, including you. So I will be back next week with a new episode. That's my plan. My birthday is on Wednesday, the 25th. And the podcast is, oh my God, that's true. And it's a podcast birthday too. How did I forget that? So I have to figure it out. I'm planning on taking some time to be a kid. And so I'll talk about that when I get back. And I have this amazing guest that's going to be coming up in a few weeks. I'm really excited to share her with you. She's a mom and she owns a bakery, and she's just written her first book, sharing recipes and also her wisdoms, I think. I think she's trying to make a sweet life and a sweet world. But we'll talk more about that. And then, like I said, I have something planning and brewing in reference to fitness and health, because it is something that I'm very passionate about. Being on this body recomposition journey has truly sent me into a lot of thoughts about how I want to keep going, how I want to keep elevating, and how I really feel like there's not enough conversations with women as it relates to menopause, perimenopause, health after 40, all of those things. So I want to have those conversations, because I think we are still trying to fit, a lot of us, our mother's lens of what health was on ourselves. And that doesn't serve us anymore. We are not our mother. We are better than that. And that's what our mothers would want for us. So we're going to talk about that. I'm going to kind of give it some time to noodle up. But like I said, my plan is that I will be back for next week with a whole new episode. I really hope that you will enjoy the rest of your day, that you will take care of yourself, that you will take time to be gentle with you. And I will talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.